Can you feel it? Something almost impossible to name began a few days ago. It's not obvious like a dramatic event, not loud enough to be labeled a crisis, yet it's quietly spreading within your inner world. Maybe you felt your heart skipping a beat for no reason. Maybe someone from your past suddenly appeared in a message, a dream or a memory that washed over you like a wave. It's not a coincidence. It's not an illusion. You have stepped into an energy portal, and it opened on June 6th when Venus entered Taurus. This is not mere astrology talk. It's a frequency stirring something deep inside you, like a silent yet powerful test. Unusual heartbeats, strange vibes, curious coincidences that make you pause, all of these are signs. Something is reaching for you, something you've been quietly searching for. But unlike before, this time it's not knocking sweetly, it's testing you. Because the truth is, you shut your own doors long ago, perhaps to protect yourself, maybe because of past wounds, maybe you were just too tired of trusting the wrong people. But now, the energy of Venus is touching the deepest vibrations within you, and those doors are beginning to open, one by one, quietly. This is not an opportunity, it's a confrontation, and it's not gentle. Every facade around love, self-worth, every story you've told yourself to feel okay, all of it is being revealed, not to punish, but to see clearly. And the hardest truth of all is this: most people only realize it once everything has already changed. What have you felt these past few days? An urge to speak what you've held inside for months? A memory returning that chokes you? Someone from your past making an unexpected re-entry? Wrong time, right moment, when you were most vulnerable? Nothing here is happenstance. This portal isn't only opening you up to beautiful possibilities, it's illuminating the shadows you've long avoided. And maybe your body has been sending signals, subtle aches, sudden chills or restlessness at night. Maybe your dreams have become vivid, strange, even prophetic. These are not random. They are your soul whispering, "Pay attention." And remember this energy isn't here to comfort you. It's here to realign you. You may find yourself more sensitive, emotions may surge, relationships you thought were stable may begin to fracture. Not because you're weak, but because they no longer fit your trajectory. It feels as if Venus, the planet of love and value, is shining a spotlight on all the pieces you've stuck together just to feel whole. So, do you have the courage to face that truth? Because if you hesitate, if you falter, this energy won't wait. It will pass by like a wind, leaving you behind with whatever you chose to cling to. But if you felt something real in the past days, then congratulations, you have stepped inside the portal, and the journey isn't over. It has only just begun. When you step through this energy portal, nothing old can come with you. No more masks, no more stories you've told yourself just to feel better. Because the energy of Venus in Taurus doesn't come to soothe, it comes to confront. Directly, relentlessly. And the first thing it demands is the truth. Have you ever clung to a relationship simply because you feared being alone? Ever justified a connection that had already faded just because starting over seemed too hard? Ever told yourself that if you just tried a little harder, things would eventually work out? If so, those are the very things that will now be stripped away. Because this energy will not allow anything that isn't real to continue. All connections that are not born from genuine presence will begin to feel out of place. Compromises that have cost you your authenticity will start to suffocate. And if you've stayed too long in a comfort zone built on illusion, then that illusion is about to crumble. Piece by piece. This is not punishment. This is purification. Not everyone will be ready for it. Some will feel confused. Some will resist. Some will blame others for the cracks that begin to show. But the truth is, everything is simply shedding the layers it no longer needs. There's nowhere left to hide, Every glance, every small reaction, every conversation becomes a mirror. And that mirror doesn't reflect others. It reflects you. You may find yourself angrier than usual, more sensitive, reacting intensely to words that seem harmless. But don't blame yourself. These emotions aren't new. They've just been repressed for too long. Now, Venus's energy moves like a cold beam of light, illuminating every dark corner you've tried to avoid. Not to judge, but to liberate. And in that moment when you feel like you're falling apart, you're actually beginning to live truthfully. Truth, even when chaotic, is better than artificial peace. The relationships that are truly strong will survive this phase through transparency. The ones that no longer serve you will fall away, not because anyone did wrong, but because you've changed frequency. Give yourself permission to look back, not to blame, but to finally be honest after all this time. Honest about the times you ignored your own feelings, about the moments you pretended not to see, not to know, just because you weren't ready to face them. And most of all, honest about this: you deserve more than struggle. And when the first layer of the mask falls away, you may be stunned. You might realize that some of what you thought was your true self was actually a defense mechanism. The strength you once prided yourself on was not strength, but armor. The independence you've held on to was not freedom, but a shield, so you'd never have to feel the disappointment of someone not showing up. Layer by layer, piece by piece, it all begins to reveal itself, as if Venus is quietly illuminating memories you've never named, but that have silently shaped you every day. A glance from someone may make you retreat. A kind gesture might spark distrust. These reactions aren't irrational. They are the footprints of old wounds left unhealed. Pay attention to the moments when you feel too much. The anger that feels too big, the sadness that feels groundless, or the exhaustion that floods you when you're near someone familiar. These aren't signs of weakness. They are signs that your body and soul are rejecting what no longer aligns. The heightened sensitivity during this phase is not a flaw, it's a radar. And if you have the courage to walk through it, it becomes your gateway to healing. Only when the false falls away do you finally stand in front of your truest self, unmasked, unperformed, unafraid to be real. And perhaps for the first time you'll realize what you once called love may have been compromise. What you've tried so hard to protect might not have been. Because you still needed it, but because you feared what it would feel like to lose it. But Venus doesn't come to take from you. This energy does not steal. It only removes what no longer belongs to you. You don't need to keep old roles just because they once mattered. You don't need to carry on with old performances just because they once brought comfort. This is a rare opportunity to begin again, not from nothing, but from truth. And that truth, though it may sting, will become the place where you return home to yourself. And then, just as you begin to touch the truth, the next wave rises, quietly, without warning. Just a glance that stops you in your tracks, a voice that makes your heartbeat skip, a feeling as if you once belonged to each other, somewhere distant in a blurred timeline that your mind can't quite name. That's when the twin flame wave appears, not as an ideal love, but as a mirror reflecting your deepest self. This person, whether they've just arrived or have been beside you for a while, doesn't come to make you happy. They come to make you see yourself. And because of that very reason, you must stay awake. Not every intense connection during this phase is destiny. The energy from the Venus portal makes things clearer, but also more vulnerable to illusion. Some people enter your life not to stay, but to teach you about boundaries. Some emotions flare up not because it's love, but because they are unhealed wounds of loneliness. Ask yourself, Are you seeking connection out of love, or are you running from the emptiness within? Are you truly drawn to their soul, or are you trying to patch something inside your own? A true twin flame connection, if it's real, doesn't arrive to complete you. They arrive so you can learn to complete yourself. And that journey always passes through darkness, through pain you once thought you'd overcome, but that quietly resurfaces when someone touches the deepest part of you. And if you're not ready, that connection can drain you. You may easily fall back into old cycles, where dependency is mistaken for love, where emotional games feel like life, when in truth, you're just repeating patterns. Don't call a tremor destiny just because it came when you were vulnerable. Let your heart speak, but let your mind listen carefully. If they are truly meant for you, they won't make you lose yourself. They'll help you remember who you are. And if you're already in a relationship, this phase becomes the clearest mirror of all. There is no longer space for avoidance. Truths hidden under habits, disguised behind gestures of affection, will reveal themselves. True love doesn't need to be loud, it only needs to be honest. And if you're brave enough to face it, you'll see clearly what's real and what's just a habit masked as love. A true twin flame, if they exist, will never make you feel saved. They'll make you realize that only you can save yourself. And if they're only a mirror, be grateful, because they've shown you exactly where you stand, what remains unfinished, what you haven't yet dared to face. That wave is still moving. Maybe you're already in the middle of it, or just stepping in. Stay conscious, stay anchored in awareness, because what's coming might forever change how you perceive love and yourself. But don't think it's only the people who enter your life that carry a message. Sometimes it's the very act of someone leaving that brings awakening. The one who made you feel abandoned might be the one who returned you to yourself. And the relationship you thought was destiny, leaving it might just be the real beginning of a mature love. The energy of this time places you face to face with a truth that's hard to swallow. Love is not about holding on, not about doing everything to keep someone from leaving. It's about being still enough to see, does this person truly reach into your depths, the part of you where love needs no proof, only presence? If you feel something silently shifting inside you, you're right, a wave is rising, not to sweep you away, but to bring you back to shore, to the shore of yourself, to the shore of freedom in connection, to the shore of love without chains. When intense connections begin reaching into your deepest layers, when you've stood before enough mirrors to finally see yourself, then comes the bigger question. Are you truly living, or are you simply keeping things going? And that question, which sounds so simple, holds explosive power, because it doesn't just ask you to look at others. It forces you to look at how you're living. Do you still recognize yourself in your daily life, in the things you keep holding on to, in the routines you call stability but are really just repetition? Venus in Taurus doesn't invite you to daydream. This energy pulls everything back to essence, to substance. It asks, what is your real worth? Not what others have assigned to you, not what you try to portray, but what you deeply feel when no one else is watching. And you might suddenly realize some things you're holding on to aren't right. They're just familiar. Some habits, roles, relationships, you cling to them not because they bring happiness, but because you're afraid of starting over. But the energy of this time doesn't allow delay. It doesn't ask if you're ready, it simply sweeps away everything that no longer fits. And when you resist, you get exhausted. But when you let go, you begin to see the light. This is the moment to gently ask yourself, do I still truly want this? The relationship you're trying to save, the job you're clinging to, the image you're struggling to maintain, do they still reflect who you really are? or are they just outfits that no longer fit? You might feel empty during this time. Don't fear the emptiness. It means you're clearing space for something that truly belongs to you. And that emptiness, if you're brave enough to stay with it, will become the space where you are reborn. Don't rush to fill it. Don't rush into a new person, a new job, a new belief, just to escape the uncertainty. Stay still. Listen deeply. Let the unanswered questions float, because in that silence, the answers will come. You no longer need to prove anything. You don't need to perform to be loved. You don't have to sacrifice yourself just to be seen. You're not here to live a life that pleases others. You're here to live a life that aligns with your soul. And if that means starting over, then remember, you're not starting from nothing. You're starting from the truth. And that truth might sting, but it is the only beginning that leads to a life truly lived, not just survived. So ask yourself once more, and this time, answer with total honesty. What in your life right now is real? What is asking to be released? And what is silently waiting for you to clear space for it to enter? You may not have all the answers right now, but you already have enough awareness not to go back. And that alone is transformation. And now, when you've reached the end of all your questions, when you've let go of the old with awareness, comes the most crucial moment of all. What will you choose starting tonight? Because some nights are not like other nights. Some moments whisper so softly, yet they rewrite everything. And tonight, as the Venus energy hums beneath the surface, this becomes one of those moments. No elaborate rituals are needed, no shimmering lights, no echoing bells. Just a pen, a piece of paper, and a heart honest enough to write down the things you're ready to release. Then burn that piece of paper, not to forget, but to send a signal to the universe that you've chosen not to carry it anymore. And then write a single line, slowly, as a promise, as a commitment, as a door quietly opening. I am ready. Because the truth is, the universe never sends you anything you're not ready for, but sometimes it waits for you to speak first. And this is one of those moments. When you say, I am ready, that's when the next door truly opens. The transformation you've begun is not for someone else to witness, it's for you. To recognize yourself, not to be loved more, but to stop rejecting your own love. This change doesn't ask you to become someone else. It only asks you to be yourself, without hesitation, without old binds, without shame. You're not a broken version needing to be fixed. You're a soul returning to its true frequency. And perhaps after tonight, something will arrive. A reunion, a message, an opportunity, a pause so silent it explains everything. Don't chase it. Just live truthfully, stay honest, and let it find you. But maybe nothing happens right away, because real transformation is never loud. It happens in the small choices, in every time you speak truth. Let go gently, or take one more step forward. This portal is not just about love. It's about coming home, returning to the version of you before you learned to please others, returning to the belief that you don't need to deserve love. You only need to be yourself. And when you live in that frequency, love, opportunities, connection, they all shift to align with you. Not because you chase them, but because you've become the magnet. Light a candle if you wish, or simply close your eyes, place a hand over your heart, and speak the truth to yourself. Because tonight, your soul is listening, and the universe is too. If you've stayed with this message until now, it's no coincidence. this message found the right person. And if something is awakening within you, don't stay silent. Share what you're feeling in the comments below, because perhaps what you say might be what someone else desperately needs to hear. If your soul feels called by these words, don't walk away in silence. The next sacred moment in your awakening journey may already be on its way. You are not alone, and you are exactly where you need to be.